We are now live. Welcome, everybody, to Hello Hump Day, and I absolutely hope that your weekly goals are halfway met. Today, we are going to have a very lively conversation with Dr. Tianna Conte, and I'm going to go ahead and read her bio for you, for the ones that don't know her. Dr. Tianna is a trailblazing mystic, eternal entrepreneur, and an international best-selling author of multiple books on transformation. She is the founder of the Awakening Awareness Academy that empowers visionary entrepreneurs, coaches, and healing experts to live successfully and fulfilled in actualizing their soul's calling in service of others. After spiritual awakenings, including her near-death experience, Tianna brings an intuitive knowing for accelerating your entrepreneur journey. Her career has spanned 40 years as a naturopath, interfaith minister, initiated shaman, Reiki Master, and psychospiritual therapist, specializing in the mind-body energy medicine. Welcome, Dr. Tianna.
Thank you so much, Dotty, for inviting me.
You are so welcome. And I would love to hear the story of how you decided to be an eternal entrepreneur over an employee for somebody that has a business in what you do.
Okay, well, here's the funny part. You have to go direct to source, AKA whatever you call God to be, whether you call God higher power, higher self, soul, because I never planned it. As a child, and I'm sure everyone, when they're children, have a special proclivity to something that they love doing that comes easily. Well,
Mm-hmm.
in my case, it was doing laying on of hands and making boo boos better. Ever since I was 5 years old, I discovered, and I thought everybody had this gift, I could see the energy blockages in the body. Now, I mean,
Oh,
that's why I said you gotta give this credit all to God because I did not figure this out, not one bit. I started as a child laying hands on boo boo to make it better. One day, I did a diagnosis at age 7 that transformed my life. You know, those pivotal moments in life, those defining moments that everybody wants and waits for? I
mm-hmm.
was 7 years old when mine arrived. My father, who was a medical doctor and really a holistic healer without knowing it in the age of the 1950s, I'm dating myself. Yeah, he had a case he couldn't diagnose, and he was besides himself. And this is important for all parents to hear. Never dismiss your child. Because what I said is, Daddy, maybe I can help you. And he looked at me like, and how can you help Daddy? And I said, I see a mosquito in that man's face.
A
Mosquito.
mosquito.
Mhm. The man had malaria. No one
Oh,
saw a case of malaria in the Bronx in the
yeah,
1950s. The man had been to Africa. My father had read about the symptoms, but never heard about the symptoms.
because it's not common here.
You got it. So at age 7, I did my first informal medical intuitive diagnosis, and that started my career. Because
And
from
you were
there,
spot on.
I was totally spot on. And then I got the gift of a lifetime. He said, okay, for the patients will say yes, you could come into the office. Oh, God, that's like being held the keys to the kingdom, you know? But you have to be still, you have to be quiet. You write down what you see, I'll tell you what they have. Collaboration at age 7.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I told you. It's quite a story, one you probably haven't heard. And,
No, I've
um,
not heard that.
and then here's where the training comes in. Here's my father. Now, Dottie, let's say you had a, like an ulcer. You came to him from an ulcer. He put his hands on your tummy and say, so, Dottie, and these were old world Italian immigrants. These are not today's new age consciousness, folks, but look at the connection. So he put his hands there. So, what's going on in your life? Look at the connections. Always listen for the connections that's causing you to have an upset stomach that has an irritation, what's
Mm-hmm.
called an ulcer. And the person would go, oh, my husband, he's making me sick, and blah, 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 right? And my father was saying, so you sound angry. Yeah, I'm angry, blah, 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 justification. And my father said, but the anger is hurting you, not your husband. So what are you going to do about the anger? So look, body, emotion. I never separate them. I can't. I was trained as a child to watch it that way. And then they'd say, but doctor, it's my husband. Because you can't change him. You've got to change you. So I learned you could only change the person you face in the mirror every day. You can't change the outside world. You are responsible.
That is a hard lesson for most people to learn.
Exactly. But watch this day in and day out. I witnessed this day in and day out, day in and day out. So I could even as much as stub my toe without going, okay, what's going on in my life that I now stub my toe? I was a child doing that connection.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what led me to pre-med and med school and everything else. And then, of course, I had a really serious sacred wound, you might say, that I left med school. I thought I was just going to travel the world, import, exporting business. But again, higher power had a different thing in mind. Everywhere I went, they took me to their shamans, their healers, their medicine men and women. I studied voodoo in Haiti. I became a Peruvian shaman in Peru. I went into the Brazilian jungles with all sorts of healers and aliens, but that's a whole other story. So that's how it unfolded. So all I've been doing is keep unfolding, healing, healing, healing. And
that's amazing.
I discovered, yeah. And then I was into biofeedback. That was one of my passions. And again, another twist of fate.
Mm-hmm.
I became involved in the mood rings. I don't know if you remember them. It dates, a lot of people don't know them. That was a biofeedback instrument for stress release, that if your ring was blue, it meant you were relaxed. If it was black, it meant you were tense. And so you needed stress release. Stress, management, you don't really manage stress. You learn how to channel it creatively. But anyway,
I always thought those mood rings were if your skin was hot or cold, because
they were marketed as, and I became involved with the marketing of it back in my 20s. If you're blue, you're passionate. If you're black, you're frigid. Sex and sales go together. Seductive selling. Well, I started becoming a top earner. I wasn't working for a company. I was working freelance.
Okay.
And then I had the idea, because it was a fad item. Again, when you're relaxed and taking care of your self-care, you get these ideas. That's the soul whispering. But if you have the monkey mind going on and on and on and on, you can't hear it. So I came up with, at that time, little index cards that said, be your own boss. Because you see, I'd only been my own boss. Training provided. Money back guarantee. Here's my phone number. Okay, you sitting for this one, Dotty?
I am.
The 1970s, I had hundreds, if not thousands, of high school and college kids selling for me. I bought the mood rings at $3 a box. I showed them and sold it to them for $12 a box and showed them how to sell. So I was teaching entrepreneurial skills in my 20s. And I was earning 10 to 20,000 a month, usually in cash.
We won't share that with the IRS.
No, I did. So I'm fine. I'm clean. I did, because I also had expenses and all sorts of stuff. But the wild part is I saw affiliate marketing before I even knew what affiliate marketing was. One person tells another, one person tells another, one person tells another.
Yes. Yeah, affiliate marketing is big now, but in the 70s, I don't even think it had a name.
No, well, I didn't know it as a name. I realized it was an idea that got sparked.
Right.
So that's why I've always worked for myself, for God direct. I call God as my only employer because I'm psychologically unemployable at this point. I don't even have a plan B. Once you live in plan A, plan B is not there. So,
I'm the same way. I
Yeah.
say I'm 100% unemployable.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I've never been employed. So, well, just once I tried it, didn't go very far. I mean, it was going to be part-time only.
Yeah.
And if I heard my guidance say one thing and what's supposed to be the so-called outside boss say another, guess who I would listen to?
Yeah. Yeah. And that doesn't go over well in a environment.
Not at all. So I knew I was unemployable at that point, and I was very blessed because I found my way by listening to guidance, being very creative. That's why I tell people, when I discovered the book, my first book, Think and Grow Rich, recommended to all entrepreneurs. One idea, all you need is one idea, and it can take you from cash flow tight. Notice I never said the word broke,
Yeah.
to being a millionaire.
Yeah.
Trusting in your own gifts, because we were all born with unique soul gifts. I discovered mine.
So how long did your mood ring thing last?
Oh, that was just a fad item that just lasted for 2 or 3 months. But it
Okay.
gave me the taste. When you get the taste of not dollars per hour, but ideas per enterprise.
So what came after the mood ring?
I started my own spa company to go to people's homes before Spa on the Go started.
Yay.
In the 80s, I had, because I was trained and I had a lot of clients. And then I had so many clients that I started giving it to other people and becoming a referral source.
Okay.
But then I thought, what a great idea. I love getting my massages at home. Again, an idea. What if we specialize in, I'm a Reiki Master from the 70s, so I gave everybody a unique signature of Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
And I would send my massage therapists and estheticians to people's homes to create a sanctuary in your home. That's your healing space.
So you weren't necessarily doing all the work. You had employees working for you.
Never an employee, never an
Okay.
employee. I wanted everyone to be their own boss. I was just, what do you call it? I don't even know what I was called.
You were managing them.
Yeah, I was managing them. I was doing the marketing. I was doing the attracting. I was also seeing private clients myself. I loved working with clients privately myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I only chose the ones I wanted to work with. Anybody else, I sent out. And so it was wonderful. It worked for everybody.
Yeah.
I was giving them clients. I had great clients. I worked from everything from students to celebrities, housewives. I mean, I was equal opportunity. The policy of our company too is we never turn anyone away because of money. So everybody could afford our services, even if it had to be a creative exchange.
So that sounds like a really good gig. What made you quit that and do something different?
Oh, a great question. You're very naughty. You can fill in the blanks. When my husband passed away. When my husband passed away, my fire just went.
Yep.
And I have a lot of integrity, as everyone I'm sure who's in our world does. And that is, if I'm listening to you, but I'm thinking you think you have a problem, you should see what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can't be seeing clients.
Right.
And so that's when I stopped the practice, stopped everything. And I was blessed. I went back to studying with shamans and spiritual masters. And, I took everything of Tony Robbins and Harbecker. They became my mentors. I took all of the programs. Some of them I was the first to finish all of them. And to get my fire back. And then I got my fire back, but the world had changed. I feel like Rip Van Winkle. Suddenly everything was online.
So was this in like the 2000s or so at this point?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I had already written several bestsellers because I took my grief, like I used to teach my clients. When you have a pain, you feel it, you work with it, and you transform it into your fuel, your purpose to bless others so they don't have to suffer the way you did. Well, Let me tell you, I got to walk my talk. What came out of it were 3 best-selling books, half a dozen others, a movie, and the GPS code, which is my signature program. But then I had all this great creative material. Well, how do you disseminate it? You got to go online. And that's been the latest journey, at which you and I have talked about getting me to even have an online presence that's worthy of an online presence.
Right.
Because I used to be known as, not the best kept secret, because I wasn't really a secret. I was known as the mystery school approach to Egyptian initiation of self-mastery and awakening since I started my practice in the 80s.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, it means it's all about what we know about you create your reality. You are the master. You are totally responsible for all of it. But I used to teach it just a wee bit differently. What you consciously created, I called it you create your reality. Okay. What you unconsciously attracted, I called it you attracted your reality. And so it was like a little bit of a disconnect. But
because a lot of people attract things that they don't want by their thought process.
And I'm going to tell you the secret that's very naughty, and it's a myth buster. It's not about your mindset.
Really?
You can work on your mindset until the cows come home.
Is it about your energy?
Limiting beliefs and wounds we have? That's basic 101 of what you're still conscious of. Mm-hmm. It's the emotions that hold your secrets. It's the soul and the heart set, the soul set. You go there, guess what? You bypass the conscious mind, you go straight to source, like I do with my clients. That's why I had super success. I never realized, because of my own sacred wounds, I just went straight to source. These are the words I heard, Dotty. And if ever I would tell people to take out a pen and paper or type this, these words transformed my life at one of the most painful wounds at age 13 that few people could survive, much less turn around and thrive. Mm-hmm. And I give God the glory, higher self, higher power, whatever you want to call it, because I could have been just totally destroyed after my dad passed away. But I heard these words: surrender each day, step by step, you'll be shown the way. What does that mean? I'm 13. My dad's gone. I was sexually violated by a trusted family member. My mother had a psychotic breakdown, and I had a legally blind sister, and I had to take care of the family. If that doesn't catapult you to believe in higher source and higher power.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. I heard those words. So every day, this is how I start my day. And the gift I'd love to give everybody, if they go to the academy, Dotty, they can pick it up, is the video that I've infused with Reiki energy and fifth frequency powers to start your day, not with an alarm clock, not with coffee, but through silence. Turn over a question at night of something you're working with. You might get a dream that gives you it. Otherwise, in the morning, be still before you jump out of bed and say, good morning, God, or good God, it's morning, whatever your phrase is. I'm an interfaith minister, so it's not about religion. We are all spiritual beings. I come from the Teilhard Den approach that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings having a spiritual experience. I live that knowing. And I encourage everyone to live that knowing. But in any case, in that quiet, that's where I got my ideas that have transformed my life. So surrender means what is. You cannot control it. Mm-hmm. Each day, it's a daily habit. My success habits far outweigh what you read about in personal development books, because it goes, be still and know that I am God, the expression of the wave in the ocean, the flame in the fire. That's what saved my life and turned around a 13-year-old who was suicidal before I heard those words. Because imagine the wound. And then
that's amazing.
Step. It didn't say quantum leap, or it just said take one step. That's why I've always encouraged my clients to take a step. I don't care how small it is, don't judge yourself. But the joke used to be, God cannot drive a parked car. So if you're co-driving with God, if you're co-creating, then put the car, turn on the ignition and put it on drive. Take one step on the gas. The universe will match you. And that's what started happening. And then step by step, you'll be shown the way. And could I have thought that I didn't know what it was going to be when I grew up? Oh, and this is another myth I'm going to bust. Clarity is power. But guess what? All of us who, like myself, are not clear. If you put non-clarity on the default of your higher nature, higher power, it beats anything your conscious mind comes up to. If somebody would have told me, Tianna, you're going to be a best-selling author, but I can't even write a sentence, or I didn't think I could write a sentence, you're going to get a spiritual system, the GPS code, that brings people into alignment and embodiment of higher self. Oh, yeah, right. Ha, 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 ha. Do you think my vision could have gone there? I could have taken care of my mother and sister at age 13, earning money on my own.
Yeah, most people don't have that push at that age to do anything.
Right. So mine came through a sacred wound, which after my husband passed away, and by the way, Dotty, when he passed away, we were kissing. I was doing CPR.
Oh, wow.
Back for a kiss, because we had a rule, never leave me without a kiss to remember, because in the twists and turns of life, you never know what the next twist will bring.
True.
So he came back from going into the light to pucker up and kiss. I thought, oh my God, I had a near-death experience. We were always playfully competitive. I thought he was coming back so I could bring him back into physical reality. Instead, another sacred wound. I go into the light with him. Now, I think I'm dying. That wasn't the sacred wound. I was ecstatic. I called death the ultimate orgasm, because you just dissolve. You dissolve into oneness with love, because that's who we truly are. I am love. I am light is not an affirmation, folks. It's a confirmation of your truth, of your being. And when you align with that knowing, infinite power. But that's beside the point. So I thought I was dying in my 40s, and I was overjoyed to go on the lips of my beloved. Does it get any better than that? No
Doesn't
way.
sound like it.
No. Instead, I come back. He goes on. Now, picture this is 1997.
Okay.
I came back and I said, if there is a God, and if you guided me once, well, game on. I'm not going to do an affirmation, no visualization, no goal setting, no intent. If there was to be an intention, I want to die quickly or awaken my soul's blueprint. Where does those words come from? Awaken my soul's blueprint? What soul? Who thought of soul and blueprint?
You had like two polar opposites here.
Exactly. That. So now I know we all are born with the soul's blueprint. We are overlaid with human conditioning, and that's the game. How to take off the conditioning and reveal your true self. That's what the Academy is dedicated to. That's what I realized. The GPS code, those words that I said, surrender each day, step by step, you'll be shown the way. That was me living unconsciously competent to the code. It's a code of light. Then now it's consciously competent. And that's what I teach. That's the signature program. That was my soul's blueprint, or what I love to call, we all have soul powers, not just superpowers, soul powers. And that's my soul power. That's what I offer. And
awesome.
That's what my life has been about, with sacred wound after sacred wound. So I could tell somebody when I would work with clients and they would feel victimized because it was really tragic, that's when I would reveal my story to empower them to say, I could do that at 33, at 13 years old, with this kind of aloneness, no support, but direct source. I can show you the way through your darkness. You have the power equal or greater to anything you've ever had to go through. Let's go through it and become stronger than before. And that's what built a career out of nowhere with no training formally. Then I got the training afterwards to give credibility to what I was doing naturally. So I did everything ass backwards. I call myself an ass backward life. Like I had the honeymoon before the marriage, because once we got married, then he passed away. Then we have this eternity. He's the one who gave me the title Eternal Entrepreneur from beyond, because The books I've written together with him from Beyond are not marketing. They are true transmission. And he is the co-author on the books with me. And in the second book, which I give for free at the Facebook group that I have, Spirituality Made Practical, there's a picture. Half the face is my Dotty and half the face is William, taken by a world-leading afterlife authority. Now, come on, who can make this stuff up? I mean, I can be
I
the
can't say that I
best
can.
fiction writer, and I can do this. That's my life. So we all have a soul story that comes through the wounds when you get to the other side of the wound. And it's
So if
much
I'm
bigger
hearing
than
you right, your advice to somebody who is either, trying to figure out what they want to do with the rest of their lives is to connect to their soul story.
Their soul story, and you find it in two ways. Okay, Dottie? One, go back before puberty. That's when the soul is most accessible.
Okay.
That's the time that they talk about we all get conditioned. Well, I'm going to give you the flip idea. You do get conditioned. That's absolutely true because you're in theta state and conditioning goes through. However, also go back to that state and see what did you love doing that came naturally, that you would lose time doing it. Like I did lay hands on boo boo and make it better. Hell, I had one month once, and when my father was too busy to give me attention, I climbed up my stairs because we had a three-family house, and the second floor was his office. And I climbed up there, and I'm like, I know why they call them patience. You have to have patience. Well, I can't stand this. I look like a hamster. I climbed on the vanity. I put my hands on, and I started going, go away. God made me perfect. Go away. I'm a little girl, and I'm perfect. Go away. And I kept seeing it go away. By the time my father came home, the mump was gone. Mump, not mumps, just one. And I said I wasn't a hamster. So we have our gifts and they're close to the surface before puberty. Once puberty hits, it's hormonal craziness and it's harder because I've worked with hundreds of children. So that's one way. The other way is your sacred wound. If you haven't gotten at childhood, or even if you have gotten at a childhood, it's often exposed during your sacred wound. When you integrate it, see what you learned through your suffering and how you can bless the lives of others. I started working with suicide preventions. I started working with people who've been sexually violated because that all happened to me. So I became an expert in the field to alleviate and help people through the dark, to go from the feeling of victimization because you are victimized, but you're never a victim. Again, we're either the creator or the victim. You cannot be both. Now, I thought we were the creator or the co-creator when I felt victimized. But with William's passing, and I learned what awaken my soul's blueprint meant, we create it all. We either create it consciously from our conscious mind or unconsciously from the subconscious and the soul mind. This is where personal development lacks and makes it much harder and keeps us in what I call the hamster wheel that I bypass. And that is, we have a superconscious mind, a higher mind, a God mind, whatever you want to call it, that goes right beyond mindset, goes straight to the heart of the matter, the soul set. And if you even know about heart math, the vibration, the magnetics of the heart is greater than the brain, and there are brain cells in the heart. So, folks, the greatest journey we take is not between the ears, it's from here to here. This is awakening. This is your soul's gift to you and your gift to the world in your entrepreneurial calling.
Well, this has been a fascinating conversation, and we are actually at 11:30, so we're out of time.
Oh,
it went fast, didn't it?
It did. Thank you for giving me the space to tell stories, because what I do is I love telling stories. Well, I don't know if you felt it, but I vibrate energies. I always do that. I've been doing it since I was a little girl, and I continue doing it. And I'm sending you a virtual hug, Dotty.
Thank you.
And a hug to everyone who's listening and replays and everything. and seal it with a kiss. Keep it simple spiritually. Remember who you are. Remember in Lion King, you are the little lion or lioness or anything in between. You are that, a powerful being of light. Don't buy into any of the other stuff. Work with the voices, release them, release the reactive emotions. Come play with us at the Academy. Pick up the video. I give it all in that video for free.
Awesome. And if you send me a link to that video, Dr. Tianna, I'll go ahead and put it in the comments under this live after we're done.
Okay, I'll do it after
awesome.
we're done.
Well, everybody have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next Wednesday.